Welcome to the final day, the day 12 of the Allyship journey. Now you have all the theoretical bases and you understand how the system works. It's time to know what to do about it. What is the solution at systemic level? Should we transform the current vertical hierarchical system or create an alternative one? As Ryan Eisler comments, success and survival in the post-industrial world requires a shift towards partnership, from power over to power with, from control to empowerment and care. A society with mutual respect and trust and a low degree of violence, where beliefs and stories give high value to empathetic and caring relations, where there is an equal valuing of individuals and high regard for stereotypical feminine values. This vision can also be called ecofeminism, a vision of another society not based on the exploitation of human labor, not based on hierarchies, but based on the recuperation of our relationship with nature, promoting collective action over individualism. There are thousands of tactics that exist and then can match your character or thinking style. You can vote, first of all. Use your technical or graphics design skills to produce powerful infographics on the situation. Leverage the power of the crowd through platforms like change.org and social media to make noise and unite people around the cause. What was once an isolated individual complaint online can now realize thousands. You can name. A simple yet powerful tactic is to give a name to a previously unnoticed phenomenon, like mansplaining, manspreading, maninterrupting. You can use counter-storytelling. Choose a new angle to portray a problem, provide a female gaze to a traditional story, show what a different world would be like. New media channels allow each of us to become a storyteller. You can portray new heroes, new role models, and new stories of women and men striving for peace and balance. You can create and disseminate case studies, toolkits, and manuals with concrete tips and advice. You can progressively infiltrate the power structure in order to switch the power balance from within. You can set up quotas in your organization. You can refrain from buying products or using services from companies who do not respect your values. So you can boycott the brands that have sexist ads or employ women with no minimum wage or rights, like for example all the fast fashion industry. Try to decide to invest and buy from the brands that are coherent with your values. You can rate, attribute a mark or a rank to an organization according to its compliance with diversity. You can unite. When women unite, they prove that they are powerful. Remember, women paralyzed Iceland in 1975 and Lysistrata's sex strike stopped the Peloponnesian Wars. You can engage in street action. Guerrilla activism costs little, but if well publicized, these actions create a viral effect. You can use a symbolic claim. Focus your protest or campaign on a small but very symbolic illustration of the power system. You can disobey. It's good to be an ally, but sometimes you have to be a rebel. If you believe some rules are not fair, why follow them? You can occupy a public and symbolic place to raise awareness on an issue, like Occupy Wall Street, the Indignados in Madrid, or Nuit debout in Paris. You can reverse the roles to shed light on the incongruity of cultural rules. You can use empathy and invite others to put themselves in your shoes to be more aware of your reality. You can dilute. Instead of fighting the existing structure, create alternative models that become so numerous that they dilute the old system in a sea of new ones. And you can use nonviolence. Many changemakers use peaceful walks, civil resistance, and disobedience tactics to prove their point and challenge the existing power structures. A true systemic change will only arise from a combination of these tactics, triggered by a symbolic event. It will require planning, strategy, and cooperation. If you're passionate about changing the system, read Gene Sharp's groundbreaking work From Dictatorship to Democracy, or consult the Albert Einstein Institution, which lists 198 methods of nonviolent action. What can you do at individual level? The first thing is to understand that the system is actually maintained by passivity and silence. How many times have we witnessed jokes that made people uncomfortable without saying a word? How many times have we seen the police treat somebody badly without saying anything? How many times have we avoided mingling in other people's affairs, even if we felt that there might be something wrong in the family or couple dynamics? This is being a passive bystander. We have witnessed oppression, yet we didn't feel that we should intervene. It is very important to speak up as much as we can. Always speak up if you witness behavior or speech that is degrading or offensive. Explain your stance so everyone is clear about why you're raising the issue. This is why we all need to become allies. Allyship is an active, consistent, and arduous practice of unlearning and re-evaluating, in which a person holding systemic power seeks to end oppressions in solidarity with a group of people who are systemically disempowered. Allyship is when white women can be actionable allies to people of color, men can be allies to women, cisgender people can be allies to members of the LGBTQ community, able-bodied people can be allies to those with different abilities, economically privileged people can be allies to those who are not, and so on. To be a true ally, you should lift others up by advocating. Share growth opportunities with others. Transfer the benefits of your privilege to those who lack it. Take on the struggle as your own. Amplify voices of the oppressed before your own. Acknowledge that even though you feel the pain, the conversation is not about you. Center the impacted. Stand up even when you feel scared. Own your mistakes and de-center yourself. Understand that your education is up to you and to no one else. Not view venting as a personal attack. Recognize systemic inequalities and realize the impact of microaggressions. Believe underrepresented people's experiences and, most importantly, listen, support, self-reflect, and change. Allyship is a continual investment of time in supporting others, holding ourselves accountable when mistakes are made, apologizing and being prepared to rework the approach towards allyship as needs change. Through personal actions, a more inclusive environment can be fostered by becoming a sponsor, champion someone from an underrepresented community to support career growth and increase company retention. Being a sponsor is different to being a mentor. Sponsoring is being actively involved in aiding someone's career progression. Mentoring is providing advice. Calling out inappropriate behavior. People in privileged positions have the ability to call out unacceptable behavior towards underrepresented people and be heard. Underrepresented people may not be comfortable raising issues due to a fear of backlash or risk of jeopardizing professional relationships. Tasking all employees with getting involved with diversity and inclusion related tasks. Everyone should be involved. Do not assign these daunting tasks to underrepresented people only. Using inclusive language, be aware of gendered terms and use language which embrace all walks of people. For example, using partner instead of gendered terms such as girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, to be more inclusive of those in the LGBTQ community. Rolling out unconscious bias training regularly. Understand that unconscious, unchecked bias cannot and will not be fixed after one unconscious bias training session. This is a growing process, and continued challenging of ourselves and peers must happen to aid growth and learning in this space. Trying different recruitment methods to attract and retain different kinds of people, use different ways of attracting them. Partner with organizations which actively push for equality in that space. Be present at conferences and reach out to underrepresented people for their honest feedback and so that they apply to the positions. Recognize privilege and use it to amplify underrepresented voices. And following an array of voices, learning and growth will not happen without being challenged. So follow different people and listen to them. Challenge yourself to cross-examine your bias after learning from different voices. One very concrete action is to think about the people who surround you. How diverse are they? In terms of political orientation, Do you have any gay or trans friends? Do you have people from a different ethnicity in your 30 most frequent contacts on WhatsApp? Does any of your friends suffer from depression, PTSD, or mental illness? Do you have friends who live in rural places? How often do you talk to them? How can you actively surround yourself with others who think and look differently than you? You can also make a conscious effort to decolonize your knowledge. Reading books, watching movies produced by women, people of color, different religious beliefs. You can go on educating yourself on systemic oppression and contribute to educate others, sharing links or articles on that topic. You can check if your organization reflects the diversity of your community at all levels. Whenever you host events, do you make sure you have a diverse set of speakers? If it's not the case, can you use your privilege to voice your opinion to HR and executive committee? You can advocate for more women, people of color, or members of other underrepresented groups as keynote speakers and panelists. You can change speaking rules in your meetings. For example, one person cannot speak more than 3 times. A woman or a person of color must speak in between 2 men or 2 white people, or the meeting stops. You can time who is speaking. You can rotate the facilitators. You can address the most silent participants directly and ask them for their opinion. You can ensure moments of silence. No more "hey guys." And you can openly call out and reject any jokes or general insensitivity. You can recommend people for stretch assignments and learning opportunities. You can direct questions about specific or technical topics to employees with subject matter expertise instead of answering them yourself. When someone proposes a good idea, repeat it and give them credit. Create a code of conduct for meetings and any shared communication medium, including email, chat, Slack, and so forth. Invite members of underrepresented groups within your company to speak at staff meetings, write for company-wide newsletters, or take on other highly visible roles. Look closely at the invite list for events, strategic planning meetings, dinners with key partners, and other career-building opportunities. If you see someone from a marginalized group missing, advocate for them to be invited. Offer to introduce colleagues from underrepresented groups to influential people in your network. These are just some ideas that you can implement in your daily lives to make them more inclusive. So the last exercise of this journey is, what is your Allyship personal action plan? What do you want to commit to in order to make a change in your organization, in the world, in your life? What do you want to stop doing, to start doing, to do more of? This is only the beginning. Thank you for being with us, and good luck for the future.